Alright, in this video I'm going to teach how to solve quadratic equations using the completing the square method. This method is least recommended of all the three methods for solving the quadratic equation. This is so because it's complex and it is long, and because it's long there are a lot of chances that you will end up making a mistake in the solution and ending up with a wrong answer. But you need to know this way of solving the quadratic equation for the sake of knowledge and for passing your math exam. And moreover, you will need to know this completing the square method to convert your quadratic equation in its vertex form. There's a video on this vertex form. You can check its link in the description below. Okay, let's just start off. Let's take example and let's have x squared minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Okay, when solving the quadratic equation using the completing the square method, the first job is to have this x squared alone. You don't need to have any minus sign or any number with x squared. Okay, when you're done with that, you see that you don't have anything with the x squared term. You can proceed further. The next step is to take the 6, take the constant term, the term which does not have any x on the other side of the equal to sign. We can do it by subtracting by 6 on the both sides. Let's do it. X squared minus 5x plus 6 minus 6 is 0, so I won't write it. I'll just leave space. I'll let you know why. And here we have a minus 6 over here. Okay, the first thing is I'll just write all the steps you need to consider. Leave x squared alone. Number 1, leave x squared alone. Number 2, move constant term on the other side. Okay, when we are done with this, and now we will move to this part. Why did I leave this side blank? We have to write a number over here to make this thing a perfect square. Okay, what that number is this minus, when we have this minus 5x, the coefficient of this x, we just divide it by 2 and square it. We just divide it by 2, minus 5 divided by 2 and square it. When we square it, this minus sign does not matter because minus times minus 5 times minus 5 is a positive 25. So yeah, this becomes positive, so we don't need to write this minus sign, but we need to consider this sign so we do not make a mistake. Okay, so here we have plus 5 divided by 2 whole square, and when we add something on this side, so we'll add it on other side as well to make it even. We can't just add something to an equation on one side. That just won't be fair. Okay, so here we add it again. 5 divided by 2 whole square. You can write the minus sign over here because when you'll square it, it will again become a positive. It won't make any difference. Like if I write a minus sign here and when I square it, it will become 25 divided by 4, and the minus sign will be gone because of the squared. So it really doesn't matter. I'll just leave it over here for you to not get confused. Okay, so here this is a perfect square. We can write this as x minus 5 upon 2 whole square equal to minus 6 plus 25 divided by 4. Okay, here we have this thing. Okay, how did this convert into this? You must be familiar with the formula that a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. This is in this form. This a square plus 2 times a and b plus b squared. This thing is equal to this. but with the minus sign it becomes a minus b whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so that's how this is. Minus plus, I'll show you why I divided by 2 when I'm done solving it. I'll come to that, don't worry. Okay, so now let's solve it. I'll just simplify it further in. I'll take LCM. I have 4 over here. Minus 6 times 4, we get a 24. I'll just write it. Plus 25. Here we have x minus 5 divided by 2 and whole squared. X minus 5 by 2 whole squared is equal to, this becomes 24 minus 24 plus 25. 25 divided by 4. Okay, minus, now this will become 1 over 4. 1 over 4, and here we have x minus 5 divided by 2 whole squared. I'll move it over here. Okay, here we have this. I'll just take square root on both sides to end this square thing. I have x minus 5 divided by 2 whole square equal to 1 over 4 in the root. Okay, this thing goes off with this. We are left with x minus 5 divided by 2 equal to 1 over 2. 1 over plus and minus 2. Remember, whenever we have square root on the other side with a constant, over a constant, and when we remove it, we are always left with plus and a minus sign. We have a plus and a minus sign whenever we are left with a root on a constant. Okay, so one time we'll solve it with a positive and other time we'll solve it with a negative thing. Okay, here we have x minus 5 divided by 2 equal to 1 over 2, and here we have x minus 5 divided by 2 equal to minus 1 by 2. I'll just take this constant on the other side. I'll add 5 divided by 2 on both sides. Here I have x equal to 1 over 2 plus 5 over 2, and then we'll get x equal to, we have denominator same, so we can just simply add the numerators. We get 6 divided by 2, and now the answer is x equal to 3, because 6 divided by 2 is, we are left with 3. So one answer is 3, and let's see our other answer. We'll add 5 divided by 2 on both sides. We're left with x equal to minus 1 over 2 plus 5 over 2. Since the denominator is same again, we can just solve it simply. We have, I can write it the other way around, 5 minus 1 divided by 2, and now we are left with x equal to, this becomes 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So here we have 2 answers, x equal to 3 and x equal to 2. You see all this working here, and then we went here, and all this could be done in like 2 steps using the factoring method, or simply just putting the values a, b, and c in the quadratic formula. This would require a lot less work, and we won't make any mistake. Here a lot of people mess up with this plus and minus sign. A lot of people don't put these signs when they use the under root sign, and they just end up getting the wrong answers, or getting one answer instead of 2. So here is the solution by using this, completing the square method. Okay, now I'll just write the answers over here, x equal to 2 and x equal to 3, and I'll just raise this off and tell you why did I do this step. Why did I do this? Divide by 2 and then squared it. That's an important thing you need to know. Okay, I'll just erase it all. Let's clean it up. Okay, here we are over this step. I'll just erase it even. Okay, that formula, I'll just write it again. A minus b whole squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, so here we have this formula, and we were left with this x squared minus 5x, and we were left with the whole blank. What do we do to make this a complete square? This thing a b square. We need a b square. Something a b square. Okay, here we have the coefficient of a and b, 2a and b. Here we have three things, 2a and b. Okay, so this 5 is all 2a and b being performed at the same time. Okay, so how do we get a b? We know we have a over here. A is 1 because the coefficient is 1 over here. So our a is 1. We have a 2. This is being multiplied by 2. So, and we need a b to write it over here, plus b. We do not have this b. So to get our b, we know that this thing minus 5x minus 5, x is just part of the formula. We just won't consider this x for now. We'll just write minus 5. Minus 5 is equal to a and b, and here we have minus 5 equal to 2. We have the formula, and a is 1, 2 times 1, and here we have a b. Okay, so we need our b. What is our b? So we divided by 2. We divide by 2 on both sides. We get minus 5 divided by 2 equal to b. 1 times b is just b. So we get our b, and we squared it over here and over here as well. So this became minus 5 divided by 2 whole square. This we have a square minus 2ab. This thing is 2ab, and here we have our b squared. I hope it is clear now that this thing is our 2ab, and by this we have our a over here, ax squared plus bx plus c. So here we have our b, and here this is 2ab, and we need to find our b. So we can simply do this, or we know that this thing, I told you the first step is leave x squared alone. When x squared is alone, we get our a as 1, and what we are left with is 2 times b. So we simply divide this thing, this 5, this middle thing, we just divide it by 2 and square it and add it on both sides, here and over here as well, to make it even. This becomes a perfect square, and we can simply write it as x minus 5 divided by 2 whole square. You see this formula, a minus b is equal to this minus this squared. I hope you understand this now, the completing the square method and the logic behind this squaring thing. Okay, in the next video I'll be doing more examples, the examples involving this minus sign, anything with x squared, and how do we deal with those situations. And I'll suggest that you do watch those videos to have a grip on completing the square method, because that's simply an easier question to teach you the completing the square method. So you need to know when things get complex, what do you need to do. So do watch those videos. I'll add their link in the description below. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.